if you're kneeling this way, the baby's going the same way, right? But if you're sitting in a squat, like you're gonna come in front of me, turn around, face the TV. All right, now you're gonna squat down on my lap.
Okay.
That. Okay. You can birth like this. You can either birth on your husband,
Which I probably would do.
all right, and then he would just help you here, okay, and hold you. And so you would take a breath in, hold it, and to the count of 7, you would bear down. 4, 5, 6, 7. Let your air out all at once. Take a deep breath in quickly. And again, you bear down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let your air out.
Sorry, I'm like struggling here to squat. Just so you know.
You're struggling?
I'm struggling because I'm not resting.
Well, rest on me.
Okay. That's what I was afraid. I was like afraid to do that because I'm like, am I too heavy for you?
That's what you're going to be doing, okay?
Okay.
So that's one way of squatting. Does this feel comfortable? Do you think you could have a baby in this position?
Not because I'm not really that comfortable at the moment. But I think if I were like sitting on him, I probably would be comfortable.
Would? Okay. So now I want you to sit on the floor between my legs. And if you were sitting on his feet like this, how would this be?
Oh, okay. That's comfortable.
Is that more comfortable?
That's
for
more
you?
comfortable.
Okay. This is another way. The reason why my feet are underneath your butt is so that there's a little space between your tailbone and the floor.
Oh.
See that? Because we don't want your tailbone being squished. That little coccyx points up. We'd rather it be down. So there's just a little space. It's not much. You're probably feeling the floor. Are you feeling the floor? But does this feel like you could?
This feels comfortable.
Can you imagine like taking a breath in and holding it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let all your air out. Now take a breath in. And again. Now, women can push letting their air out, but a lot of times we'll say to a woman, hold your breath, don't let any air out, and really push down into your butt.
Yeah, they do that in hospitals a lot.
In the hospitals.
Oh, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a woman can push anyway. If it's effective, it doesn't matter how you push.
Right.
You know, if you're bringing a baby down, if you're going, it's fine. If the baby's coming down with that. But if the baby's not coming down, we'll give you a suggestion. And that's the suggestion that we give. If you were pushing on your own within any direction, most often women push, if I was going to monitor how many seconds, it's about 7 seconds. Okay? 10 seconds is a little bit long. You're being asked to hold your breath longer than you normally would to bear down. So I like 7 as a general number. So that's one position you can birth in. Here's another position. You're going to stay on the mat. You're going to lie on your side. Put your head.
Now, do I prop myself up with my elbow? Do I just lay
lie
down?
All right.
Okay.
So now you're feeling this contraction coming, the sensation. You're going to lift this leg. You're going to take your arm. You're going to hold your leg. And you're going to pull up. And you're going to bear down. So this might be another position to birth in. So you do the same thing. You hold it. You bring your chin down this way. And you just crunch and push your baby out that way. Okay. The count of 7 again. And then you let all your air out. Do it again. Usually women have 3 pushes in one sensation. Okay? So it's like holding, push, more. Good, let it go. And then take a deep breath in. And again, right from where you left off. And if you hear us going good, like that, just like that, keep going. You know that you're doing it correctly. In between, you're going to let your leg go. Okay, so you let your leg drop down, or we put a pillow between your legs. And again, you wait. And you just let yourself go. You gather all your strength. You contain yourself. This is called a pause. This is in between. This is where you're like, fall asleep in between. Even if it's for like 4 minutes, you like sometimes fall asleep. Then you say, okay, here it comes. We're gonna know because you're gonna pull your leg up. And you might need help. You might say, help me with my leg. And we'll just give you a little help. But you've got to do the holding because that, you know, you make that connection.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the baby is beginning to crown. You say, put your hand between your legs and feel your baby's head. And you're like, really? I don't want to. I'll hold your leg. Go ahead.
Right.
You go.
You're like, oh, there's just
My
there.
baby, really? Oh my God, that's my baby's head. Yes. All right, and sometimes if you just hold your hand on your baby's head when you're pushing, you can feel what you're doing.
Right, so that would
And it
that-
gives you,
like
yeah,
that boost. Like,
Yeah,
confidence,
exactly.
like I'm doing something.
that's right, that's right, that's right. Even before you can see her, you can, but it's time to push. You can put your finger up inside your vagina and do the same thing and go, okay, this is where I'm going. This is, okay, I can feel her moving. And they move like,
It's just a projection.
so can you imagine being in this position?
Yeah.
Which was the one that you liked?
I like the most of when I was sitting on the floor.
Okay.
That was the ultimate. Like that's the best. This would probably be second.
Okay.
Sitting on your lap or his lap.
Right. Because you feel like you're still holding yourself in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm heavier, so that's why I'm afraid of him. Because he's always going, you got a bony butt. Thanks.
Yes, you do.
And then if you were in the water, you would do the same thing with leaning against the back, pulling your legs up, or you'd have your legs braced against the side of the, you know, the wall of the pool, and you can do the same thing.
That was my pelvis. It's when I lean over to one side, and most of the time it's only my left. When I lean over, I
Yeah.
get that pain right
Right.
there. But going over here, no problem.
Right here.
It hurts.
It's where she's. It's
It's-
your pelvic
it's
bone that is like
always-
tighter than the other side.
It's always like that.
Before you're pregnant?
No.
No.
It's only been
like
this
from her leaning.
It's always been this side. Only recently when we were walking back from Dwayne Reed, where both sides were actually hurting.
Okay, let's say, come back up here. Lie down on the couch. Completely on your back. Now your baby's born. Here's your baby. Okay, so if you birthed on your bed, you're in your bed. You don't have to go anywhere. If you're birthing in the pool, we're going to have you get out to birth the placenta. So now you birthed your baby in the pool. Here's the pool. All right, you've got your baby. We're all helping you. This is where you come into, because now we got to get you out of the pool.
Right.
So we get you to stand. You got to get one leg over.
I want the
Other leg over. You're going to turn like this, and probably you're going to be on the couch. And you're just going to sit on the couch this way. The couch has to have tablecloth.
Okay. That's good that we have.
Yeah.
We have 6 of them, and then
Right.
the one that
Right, so big one over here, so it's covering the couch, because you will be probably bleeding because the placenta is separating, and when the placenta separates, there's a kind of a gush of blood.
Right.
So you come, you sit down, and now you're lying down. Now your baby is on you like this. What we're going to do is you're going to keep the baby down here as low as possible. You're going to hold the baby under your booty, but you're going to be laying flat. And what this is all about is called breast crawl.
I've heard of that.
Look it up online. And so after any time between 15 minutes and an hour's time. What a baby's instincts, because they also have just come from like, oh my gosh, where have I been? Here I am. Well, how did I get here? Right?
Right.
So they're acclimating to the outside world. They're hearing sounds that they never heard before. They're smelling things that they never smelled before. They have to use their lungs, their whole circulatory system, and their respiratory system is being asked to do things. So they are acclimating. Being on you gives them the comfort, gives them the assurance that they are okay. Now they start going like this.
Right.
They're pushing their
That's a
tongue
cue.
out.
That's a cue.
They put their hands in their mouth. They cry a little bit, and then they start to scoop. And then they stop and they cry. It's not a time to like comfort them and pat them. It's a time to say, yes, this is your work.
Right.
Just like mommy worked, you're gonna work and get to the breast. And they do, they cry a little, then they calm themselves down, and then they crawl a little bit more, and they're pushing the whole time with their feet. And then they decide which breast that they want, and they sometimes fall over, and then you just kind of get them back up. And then they look, and they bob, and they bob,
And then they find the
and
bullseye.
they find it, and they just start nursing. So now we have a whole nother thing. This is called breastfeeding. The first time, it's the baby getting its own thing together. But any nursings after that is a relationship between you and the baby. So what I have moms do is I hold the baby like this. Okay. This finger just is the rester. It's the support. These 2 fingers or 3 fingers are around the shoulders to the head. So it's not a holding of the baby's head. It's more the back and the shoulders. If you're going to nurse on the left side, you're going to hold the baby in the right arm. You're going to do a cross feed, because your left hand will be in charge of supporting your left breast. Your right hand is in charge of holding the baby. So it looks like this. The baby will extend under your arm. You get to use your elbow angle here as like a support. So you tuck the baby in like this, and you're holding the baby's head here. Nose is in line with your nipple. So this is my nipple. The baby's nose is in line with it, not the baby's mouth. And the reason for that, and the baby's chin and this lower part of the lips are touching the flesh of your breast. That gives them an indication of, oh, I know, I have to open your mouth. If the baby's out here, it doesn't have a connection. It's like a GPS. We need to have flesh on flesh. So you're holding the baby. Here's the nipple. There's the nose. What happens with the baby is the baby goes like, it reaches up and comes on. So instead of coming directly, it's reaching, and then you're actually bringing the baby like kind of up and over. And you're waiting for the baby's mouth to open wide. Babies will do this, like suck things in. If she sucks in your breast nipple, that's gonna hurt. That's where women get cracked nipples, that's where they have nipple pain, that's where they have bleeding, that's where they have damage to the nipples. So,
I didn't know that was why.
yeah, it's because they don't open their mouth wide enough to get not just the nipple, but the areola part. You hear, oh, you need to get some of the areola in. That's because you want to bypass the nipple. You want to get beyond the nipple.
Right.
So if a baby's mouth is only open a little bit, it's only going to get a little, and it's going to get the tip. You wait for a baby to open its mouth wide, and then you're going to bring the baby in. Okay? So you're not just doing this and the baby's hanging there and you're not going to go down to put yourself into the baby. You're going to take the baby and bring the baby up to you. It's a different thing. And the important thing for you is when you are nursing your baby, yep, have pillows behind you, you're sitting up. All right, so now you're scoop your butt back. So now you hold your baby.
Okay. So.
Like that. And you're going to be doing this one.
Right, so you would just have to, that's my boob over here.
Yeah,
And then,
like that. So you line up the nose to the nipple. You wait for the baby to open its mouth really wide, open, and then you bring the baby in.
okay.
Okay, so you're really bringing the baby in.
Okay.
It feels like you're squishing the baby against your breast,
Mm-hmm.
but then watch what happens. The baby's like this, and then you just lower the head slightly. Did you see how the baby went from here
Mm-hmm.
and exposed its nose? That's where you're going to be. The baby should actually be in a sniffing position, like, you're sniffing the air,
Okay.
like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want the baby to be like smacked in like this. You want the baby to be like this. So that here's the nipple, here's the nose. The baby comes like this. Okay? Like if you were going to eat a sandwich,
Right,
you open your mouth.
right,
Okay. You don't just shove the.
right. You go all into it. You're like, I'm all about this food.
I'm all about it. And
Right.
So, okay.
Okay.
So, being that this is not a very large animal, stuffed
Right.
animal, I want you to feel that clench, like you're holding a little clutch purse.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Right. So here's the baby's head, so it's going to be long enough
Like,
that
right.
you're more like that. Yes. Because that you can move the baby around in a position. You know how everybody you always see a baby like in a cradle,
Mm-hmm.
but if your baby was in a cradle position here, do you have as much room to get your control to get your baby on your breast correctly? No. So that's why
So
we
I have to do the opposite.
right. And at some point, once your baby's on, then you can slip this hand. While you're holding your breast also is if your breast is heavy and you let go, it can pull out of the baby's mouth.
Right.
The way you know that is because all of a sudden it starts pinching. And it hurts. It feels like a pinch.
Okay.
It shouldn't really feel like a pinch. It should feel like a tug like this.
Okay.
So now you've had your baby like this. Let's say your breast is good. Okay. So now you have all these great sleeping blankets or towels, hand towels. If you have a hand towel, roll them up. If you have soft towels or blankets, is this yours or Cat's?
Mine.
Okay. That's another good thing to have. Unless do you have a boppy? Did you get a boppy?
I do have a boppy pillow.
And you would just use, and this is nice and soft because that kind of gives you it. Just use the things around you. And that's basically it.
And I've got more blankets too, but bigger than that. So it'd probably be more
Alright.
difficult.
So, and I know, baby, sorry, I'm using you, little baby bump.
Okay.
So that's what you would do. Put that there. And again, you get the baby on. Now, again, you could use something rolled up to just be another wedge. Okay, it's good to have a few things rolled because you don't know what you're going to need.
Right.
Okay, so that's that way. And if your hand is tucked in and your breast is fine, you don't need, then this hand becomes your free hand to answer your phone, to drink, and this hand stays here. If the baby's on, and notice also, the baby's alignment is the head, the hips, and the legs should all be in an alignment, or the ears, the shoulders, and the legs, the hips.
Like parallel
Yeah,
to
parallel.
Okay.
Belly to belly, we say. So if a baby's like this
Yeah, that's
and
not
turn, that's not good. You want to make sure everybody's stacked in the correct way.
good. Okay.
So there, that's one position
Okay.
of nursing. And if the baby is tucked and you have all these things and the baby's on, you can let go and just have something rolled to hold the baby
So
in.
that I
Then
can
you have two hands free.
More than likely, I would probably feel more comfortable going like this. At
Exactly.
Least,
I would too. I like making contact. I think The baby likes that too. Okay, so you should just know what you could do.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's one position. Another position is called the football hold.
I've heard of that.
And that's where you tuck the baby in this way, okay? But we don't hold the head.
Oh, you hold
We
it.
hold the same way, and then this hand is in charge of this breast. Okay. So the way you also want to think of nose, nipple, and the thumb is across from the nose, and your fingers need to be way underneath your
Okay.
booby.
Yeah.
Okay, and this thumb, bring it around like that, because if you need support. Okay, so the same way, the nose, nipple, baby opens its mouth, and you bring the baby in. And really, in the beginning, she's going to need your hands too,
Okay.
because what babies do, there, is that better?
Oh yeah.
And then this, of course, will be up higher, and then if you need to wedge something, you wedge something. Now, in the beginning, babies put their hands in front of their faces, and so you need to be able to get the baby under. Now, where are the baby's arms? It's a good question.
Yes.
One arm is underneath down here, and one arm is above. Okay. The same way is if you're nursing this way. The hand should not be like this. You want one hand down and then one hand up. Otherwise, there's that little extra space that separates you from the baby. So you want the hand down. You want the hands exposed because they do smell their hands and they use their hands.
Even though they
So,
can't control.
In the beginning, right, but you still have them out. The reason why you don't hold a baby's head is because they're using their head to search. And that's an important factor. The other thing is if you push a baby's head, it wants to push against it. So that's the other thing.
Like that's their instinct.
Yeah, just like you. If somebody pushed your head, you'd want to push get off me.
That's true.
The other thing is, again, I'm talking about having the baby open its mouth wide. So if you think of a gape of like this, it can only get so much. If it is wide, it can come in and get a lot more. And that's how you want like 140-degree angle in the baby's mouth. This would be too small. You see this tiny little, this, or that. You know, it's the difference. So you want the baby to come onto your breast open. And sometimes you have to wait. Put the baby against you and you're waiting, baby's going. And then it opens. So you gotta wait for that big opening. And then lift the baby in.
Right.
It's
Give
usually
her that.
it's usually the second day or the first day after you've birthed that you go, oh, what did she say? What did I do?
You're like all foggy.
Yeah. Go online and watch The Latch, Copper Latch, or Dr. Newman. Dr. Newman is a pediatrician from Canada, and he has a lot of different things on his about a baby opening wide. There's another website that's really good. It's called Kelly Mom.
Okay.
Check her website out because she's got great stuff on all areas.
Okay.
Yeah. Babies sometimes need to be burped and sometimes they don't. So it depends on your baby. You'll see who your baby is.
I thought you would always burp your baby.
Well, breastfeeding is different than bottle feeding. Breastfeeding, babies will suck vigorously in the beginning and then they'll pause. And then they'll suck and then they'll pause. And then they'll suck and then they'll pause. Several things to know what's happening with the baby is as they're drinking, you won't hear like the swallow itself, but you'll hear the sound of the breath change. So if see if I can do it.
It's kind of like they let out like little exhales, like.
Exhales after they've swallowed. The first day, all they need is 1 teaspoon of colostrum, basically. It's all they
That's
get.
a tiny
Teaspoon.
amount.
They Their stomachs are like what big.
Right, I've seen like it's like the size of a
shooter,
cherry. Oh.
like a shooter, yeah, or a cherry. A shooter marble, I was gonna say.
Oh, okay,
Cherry,
yeah.
It's tiny. The second day, it needs a little bit more. And so every day they need more. Now, how do you know if they're getting anything? You can't see what's going into them, but you can see what's going out of them.
Right. That's why it's important to check the poo.
And their
Or
pee. They're going to have poo that comes out because it's already in there and it's black and it's tarry green.
Yes.
You know about the meconium?
If they do that before they're, like, if you're in labor and they poop before they're actually birthed, because they can inhale that. I've heard that that's very dangerous.
It's not as dangerous as people say. But yes, that was always something people worried about. Now we see that it's not. If it's a light meconium, it means it's been in the water, it's diluted, it's not a big deal. If it's thick and it's coming out, then it's not as great. It's
Right.
more concern. You're more just aware of what's maybe going to come afterwards.
Right.
But, oftentimes we'll see meconium in the water, and it's not a big deal. Babies are fine. So, if it smells, if your water breaks and it's smelly water, because amniotic fluid does not have a smell. If it has a smell and it's got a color, you just let your midwife know right away. If your water breaks and there's no smell, depending on what time, if it's in the middle of the night, you go back to sleep. If there's no contractions. And then contractions will probably start soon after. If it has, and in the morning, then you would call Val and you'd let her know. By the way, at 3 o'clock, I think my water might have broke. I'm not sure. But and she's going to ask you, are you having contractions? And then you'll say yes or no. Well, I think I'm having cramps. It's like, oh, okay. Then you're going to call me. Just let you know. I think something's happening. I don't know. Liquid might have come out. It might have. I don't think it was pee, but
Doesn't smell like pee.
doesn't pee smell like pee? Do you have to wear a pad? So those are the things that you would notice when you put on or not. You'll also get calendula oil. And calendula oil you are going to lather up the baby's booty and along the vagina. Not in, but just so it's not just light, like coated.
Okay.
Because when meconium comes out, it's tarry and sticky, and it sticks. It's like boing, it's like really gooey.
So it gives okay.
And so, if you have her skin prepared with oil, it will slip off easier.
Huh.
Otherwise, it will stick to her skin, and then it's hard
It's
to
gonna
get rid of
hurt.
it.
Yeah.
So, that's good. All right. She should have, in the first day, 1 wet diaper and 1 poo. The second day, 2 wet diapers and 2 poos. Third day, and so on, up until about 5. By day 6, it should be you should be noticing 8 to 10 wet diapers a day. That's how we monitor what she's doing. And how would you know that if you have Pampers or Loves or whatever you're using?
Yeah, I've got Pamper.
You can't see what goes in, you can only see what comes out.
Right. So that's why you need it.
And the baby should have, once your milk is in, it will have 8 to 10 wet diapers a day.
Okay.
And then how do you know if you're using paper diapers? You take a piece of toilet paper and you put it in the diaper. That will wet right away. Whereas, even with a drop of urine, it will wet. Whereas with paper diapers, they're so absorbent, it just wicks away, and you have to wait until the baby's saturated before, so you don't really know if the baby's had a wet diaper or not. And you're just going to nurse anytime and every time. So what are the baby's nursing cues? Hands go into the mouth, sticking its tongue out,
Like
searching,
rooting, I think.
rooting. It's all rooting. If the baby goes, yes. Now for the first 3 days, you're doing that whenever the baby does anything, you just put the baby on, because babies want the milk. The milk doesn't come in yet. By like 2nd, 3rd day, sometimes babies, all they want to do is nurse. And you're like, I do nothing else. absolutely nothing. I'm just nursing my baby. And you're like, yeah, because the milk is going to come in any day. Like it's going to come in like tomorrow or tonight or something because this baby is like really working you.
Right.
And then the milk comes in, and then there's more of a,
It would be more satisfying.
yeah. And then once that happens, I'll probably come back and do my visit with you. And then we can talk about nursing, making sure the baby's getting enough. Because you want to switch breasts for the baby.
Right.
You want to
Like
nurse, and then you want to nurse again on that side.
Okay.
And with some babies, you have to nurse 4 times to get one sitting. Because babies fall asleep.
True.
So they don't really get a full nursing in. So if they fall asleep after, 3 minutes, and they're just going like, they're not really sucking.
No.
But if
Like
they're
a-
going, and you see their jaws sliding, they're nursing. If they're just going, they're not nursing.
They're just kind of playing.
They're just, it's a pacifier. And you've held babies?
I'm sorry?
Have you held babies?
I don't remember.
Okay, so
Well,
you're gonna
he's
have to
got-
practice.
Well, he's got. His brother has 3 kids, but
Yeah.
I don't know that you ever held them except for.
Not when they're newborns.
Okay. So the trick always to hold a newborn is to lock your thumb underneath the armpit.
Okay.
Like that and like that. Stretch your fingers out, then you can support the baby's head. Even if the baby's dangling, the legs are dangling, you've got the back, the neck, the head.
Okay.
So here's your baby down on the you want to see it on the camera? You're tucking your fingers, you're feeling for the back of the baby's head. Your fingers are underneath the armpit, and you can lift the baby, and you can control the baby's head and put the baby on your shoulder. If you didn't do that, and you just like,
Their heads.
dads are like, how do I hold this thing? And it's like, whoa.
And plus they
And then they go like
too.
this, and the baby's head goes flop, whiplash.
Yeah, they
So
can't.
this is completely secure.
Okay.
You've got to practice that with
Alright.
little bear.
We'll keep baby bear out.
Yep.
Little bear.